Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast, Best Possible Me, where we look at relationship dilemmas, try to open different viewpoints and perspectives in hope that if everyone does this, we all become the best possible me. I'm Cindy.
And I'm Ayala.
Welcome to our new episode. This would be our episode 13.
Yes. And today we will be looking at, is it normal that my boyfriend doesn't want to have sex with me anymore?
Okay,
Very interesting.
Very direct question.
Yep.
I will start reading the story then.
Yes.
My boyfriend and I stopped being intimate and 9 months. After a while, we broke up, but find ourselves having sex again when we were exes. Now we're back together and we had sex 3 times in 3 months. When we were not together, he didn't have any problems of having sex with me, and I know he also had sex with other girls during that time. But now that we're back together, he says he doesn't like doing anything with his family at home, and it's totally fine, but he doesn't even kiss me. Not at all. We have spent 2 weeks without kissing, not to mention doing more than that. If I don't initiate, he doesn't touch me. If I don't kiss him, we don't kiss. And if I ask him to kiss me, he does for literally 30 seconds and then he goes mad when I ask why he doesn't initiate anything. And he says that if he feels like it, he will, and he doesn't want to force things. My deal is that he doesn't do anything and I have to initiate all the time, or else we don't even kiss for days. Is it normal?
Okay, and I think that that's a really good question to ask. What is normal when we talk about sex?
Yes.
And I think that a lot of people ask those questions, but they're too shy to actually talk directly about what they do, don't do, and is what they do normal or not normal.
Yeah. And she's putting herself in a very vulnerable state. Obviously, she definitely has lots of questions and she's not happy with what things are. That's why she's asking questions online.
Yes. Now, I just want to put a disclaimer that both of us are not sex therapists as such.
That's not exactly our specialty. Yes. We have to
but we have been talking about sex with different people while we were doing counseling and things like that when it came up.
Yes.
I also want to put a disclaimer that for this episode, different to other episodes, we will not have another version to the story. But we will try and look at sex and relationships in general from many different perspectives.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. Right. So would you like to answer the question? Is it normal?
Okay. So I think that the most important thing to understand about sex is that there is nothing that is necessarily normal or exactly the same for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
And I think that the moment we understand that there is no one normal thing, then that takes a lot of worry or concerns or stress out of the whole equation. And what might be normal for one couple might be very not normal or very different to another couple. And we also need to take into account that over the years, for the same couple, what was normal for them at the beginning might be very different after a few months or after a few years as well.
Right. Okay.
So things change constantly when it comes to sex and relationships. Mm-hmm. Now, we're talking about sex in a relationship as opposed to sex outside of a relationship.
Right. Okay. That's basically this girl is asking as well. Now they're back together, but they've only had sex 3 times in 3 months, and he doesn't seem to initiate anything.
Yeah. What she does point in a way is that when they were not together, when they were exes, then it seemed that they had much more sex, and then she didn't talk about him not initiating. So there is something about not being together that makes him maybe initiate more than when they are together.
That's really interesting. And she also mentions that during that time, she knows that he was having sex with other girls as well. So is there a commitment issue? But what I can tell is, this is a very short story, but what we can tell is that the girl's gut feelings telling her something is not right.
Yes. Now, let's start with the basics. Basically, in every relationship, there are different elements. There's an element of friendships. There's an element of trust. There's elements of support, both physical, emotional, and mental, and there's also the element of sex. As well as a lot of other things. So sometimes there's elements of finances and
yes,
other types of elements. And it could very much be that in one relationship, certain elements will be much stronger than others. So we know that in some relationships, the friendship is the most important part, while in others, maybe the sexual tension is the strongest part. For others, it might be some element of support that is the stronger part.
Right. Okay.
And again, there is no right or wrong here. There is what is right for both partners in the relationship. Another thing that we need to think about is that there is, and this is normal if we can define anything here as normal, that there are different amounts of wanting sex throughout a long relationship, which means that there are times where the relationship that where there'll be much more sex, and other times that there'll be much less sex. There'll be times that there'll be no sex at all, and other times where there will be. There's also the fact that we have two people in a relationship, and it could be that one of them wants more sex than the other. And that could be relating to hormones. It could be relating to different stages in life. It could be relating to stress that one of the partners has and things like that. So you're not always in tune constantly with your wants and needs.
Yes, not exactly on the same level and page at all times. That wouldn't be that wouldn't be expected to happen in every relationship.
Yeah. So a lot of questions come up specifically about this couple. So were they more sexually active the first time that they were together? Or was it an issue then as well? She said that they stopped having sex after 9 months, but she didn't really talk about
when they first got together, what was it look like?
And was it a gradual decline, or was it all of a sudden something that happened that it stopped altogether?
And how were they attracted to each other in the first place?
Yes. So is there an element of novelty here? Is there different libido needs between him and her? Are they good at communicating their sexual enjoyment? So it could be, for example, that she's enjoying sex, he's not as much, and he's not actually telling her that the way they are having sex is enjoyable or not for him.
If he wanted to change things up, or maybe there are other things happening in his life. He's now at the stage that his mind's occupied by something else. We don't know. We don't know.
Again, we do know that when they weren't together, then it seemed like their sex life was better than now that they are together. So what's actually happening outside of sex in their relationship? So were other elements of their relationship better at the time that they weren't together as well?
Right.
Was their emotional intimacy better or worse during the time that they were exes?
Right. Yeah, what's their job? We don't know. Again, we don't know their age. We don't know what life stage they are in. And yeah, because in our line of work, when there's issue presenting itself, it's normally not just that singular issue. There's many elements of people's lives that are impacting on each other and impacting on that issue as well.
Yep. And I think that understanding that sex is both the enjoyment element, sometimes it's the novelty. So when everything is new, and it doesn't necessarily have to be that sex is new to each one of the people, but sex together is new.
Right. Yes.
Then there's an element of novelty about it. But there's also an element of intimacy. When you really love someone, you really want to be near them, you constantly want to be close to them, you usually want to have more sex than when that emotional intimacy isn't there.
Yeah, I was going to say you're going to talk about the emotional intimacy, and are they on the same page?
Yes.
Yeah.
And again, we don't know here, and that's not clear as well. So that's another thing to stop and think about, our emotional intimacy versus our sex life. Is there any kind of correlation in their relationship about these two elements? So I think that this lady that sent us this question really needs to stop and try and understand the whole relationship elements if they've changed outside of sex,
Right.
in other contexts. And if this is only coming about around sex, or if it's coming about in other aspects of the
Yes.
relationship.
Yes, if anything else remains exactly the same, but only the sex is changing, then trust your gut feelings. Is there something else happening?
And if it is like you're saying that it's only the sex, then
Then is it cheating? I don't know. That's a question I would ask.
okay, again, automatically that trust question comes in.
Yes.
But I would ask something else. Is the problem that sex is no longer a novelty? And if that's the situation, then how can we actually make the sex life interesting and exciting and maybe new, although it's not new to us? So can we, as a couple, choose to add elements that weren't there before just in order to keep it as a novelty within our relationship? So it won't be another habit that we do as part of our sex life.
But I agree. That is a great idea. That needs input from both ends.
100%.
If she's being open, vulnerable, and honest really about her feelings, if the reaction she's getting from him is, no, I just don't want to force things, there's nothing wrong, then it's not really a communication, isn't it?
No, it isn't.
Then there's not going to be any space for any change or improvement or adjustments.
And when she asks him about why isn't he initiating, or when she asks him to kiss her, he kind of, he, at least the way she sees it, he talks about it's nothing and he doesn't want to force things. So it could be that he has a low libido for whatever reason.
Could be that comes back to what we talked about just then. Is there anything else happening in his life that is occupying his mind or really stress him out, or is he paying attention on other people? Like, I don't know. We really don't know here.
And the last thing is, again, something that we mentioned before, is it could be that she wants much more sex than he generally. So as human beings, some of us are more interested in sex, are looking more for touch, are looking more for that kind of physical connection.
So intimacy looks different for everyone. Yeah.
Well, someone else might look more for the emotional intimacy.
Yes.
As an example. So could it be that they're just in very, very different places of that need for the physical sexual intimacy?
Right.
And if that's the case, and it always has been, and he was maybe a bit better when they weren't in a relationship or at the beginning of the relationship because of the novelty, but other than that, they are at very different levels of wanting sex, then I'm asking myself, is this the beginning of the end of the relationship?
Exactly. Are they a good match?
Yeah.
Obviously, this person who posted the girl cares about it. This is really important to her. Yeah. Intimacy is really important to her. It seems like it hurts her feelings a lot when he doesn't initiate to kiss her, to hug her in any other ways of intimacy. If this is really important to her, but remove all the other factors that it's not as important to him, then if they're not even on the same stage, is this a good match? is this going to be a long-term relationship that both of them can be happy and thrive from this?
Because sex, just like again any other element in a relationship, should be at the same level for both the couples. So if one of them really the emotional or connection or the friendship connection is the most important, we would hope that for the other one it is as well. Just like if for one of them the physical or the sexual component is the most important, then we would hope that it'll be the same for the other partner. So yes, I don't know if we really answered your question.
Yeah, because we don't really want to say this is normal or this is not normal. We don't want to be like, oh no, get rid of him, he's bad. We really want to encourage people to look at the bigger picture, to look at multiple perspectives, to look at what is actually happening to this person. Because like we said, the presenting issue might just be at the top of the iceberg.
Yes. So we hope that this helped maybe each and every one of you to stop and think about your relationships. What's the most important elements for you? And are you happy with each one of the elements? And if not, what you can do to make it better and more significant? And is it matching more or less your partners?
Yes, definitely. Okay, I guess it's a very short episode, but that's all we have for today, for this episode. Thank you for listening. We will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye. If you also have a relationship dilemma that you are struggling with and you would like us to bring it up here anonymously, you can email us on bestpossibleme.podcast@gmail.com. You can also find the email address in our podcast bio. Don't forget to like and follow our podcast so you get the notification of each new episode. See you next week.